Okay guys, I'm back. Sorry, technical difficulties with the video. She's making her homemade mac and cheese tonight for tomorrow. And tell us what you use in it, honey.
Well, usually it was hot, but hubby actually made the pasta ahead of time, so I'm coating the pasta with cream. So for a single batch, you do one whole tub of 16-ounce sour cream and coat the pasta. And then, in a big pot, since I'm doing double batch, doing a whole... And I'm actually so fat-free, really. I'm putting in some half and half cream. You know what? I'm going to put the whole thing in. Hubby didn't know sometimes I actually put cream in mine. And I'm actually going to get some milk out of the fridge as well. Make sure it's good. And I don't measure, so when I do my cookbook, as I am getting recipes together for a cookbook, I will measure. And I usually don't wait for the butter to melt. I usually just put everything in. So right now it's milk, cream, and butter. I have some American cheese cube going in. That's to actually make it a little smoother because of all the other cheeses that I'm putting in. We have Colby Jack.
Alright, so what kind of cheese did you just put in?
That was champagne cheese. And then I have a Mexican 4 cheese, which is cheddar, Monterey Jack, Sierra, and Queso Blanco. I'm going to actually put all that in. You're going to use a batch. Any cheese sauce that's left over is good on veggies. Or you can also do it over potatoes. Top it your chili with it. So as you can see, that is cheese. And so what I'm going to do is down, and once it's melted, we'll show you another shot, and I'll show you when I make it all up and mix it.
Okay, we'll be back once it's all melted so you guys can see it, okay? Okay, my wife's actually doing her next project, which is the sweet and sour meatballs. And what do you put in this to make this?
I usually do homemade jelly, but this is bought-in grape jelly, any brand you want. And I'm putting some, really it's whatever mustards I have, but this is regular yellow mustard. I have some pub-style mustard to use up, so it's a great way to use up your leftovers. Just put a little water in your container and switch it around.
Now she's making a big batch tonight.
So normally, that'd be a double batch for me probably. Get this open. I'm going to put a little bit of Dijon in it and stir it together. Now my mom and I used to make this and actually can it. So then you have your sweet and sour sauce all ready. We put it in jelly jars. And that was usually enough for whatever we were using it for. I think actually I'm going to use the second 42 ounce because we have quite a few meatballs to do.
Again, she's making sweet and sour meatballs, folks.
I am cheating, folks. I am not making homemade meatballs. I just don't have enough time. If I did, you know, I certainly would make homemade, but I am using bought-in for this for tomorrow. So what I'm going to do is once this is all made up, I am actually going to just toss the meatballs in a pan with it, and then it'll be cooked tomorrow. The reception after the funeral. And yes, again, people, I don't measure. I am an old school cook. My grandparents had a farm, so you put ingredients in and then you taste it. So it's to taste.
Now when she does all this, guys, she usually does everything from scratch. Like the cheese sauce that she's making for the mac and cheese is all done. It just needs to be melted down. So you'll get to see, how many cheeses did you add into the mac and cheese?
I don't know, how many did we do? So we did
6, 7, 8.
No, we did more than that, didn't we?
9, 10. 10 different cheeses.
Around 10 or so?
Yep.
Actually, I have a little bit of, I usually do, I'm not going to put a lot, but I have a little bit of Parmesan cheese I put in as well. This is the shredded.
Now, for all you home cooks out there that like to cook, these are pretty easy to make. And if you have any questions about if you want to make the mac and cheese or the sweet and sour meatballs,
more or less, whatever cheese you have, you can certainly make into a cheese sauce. I always recommend doing more than one cheese, just because it tastes better. I like to do several. The most I've ever done is 14 cheeses in a mac and cheese, and I started doing that for a Christmas party. And I was not allowed into that house without my mac and cheese. Now it's my mac and cheese and my sweet and sour meatball. I'm not allowed in anymore without them. So you can see there's still lumps in here, but it is starting to melt down. I know some of you are probably thinking that you do a roux first with butter and flour and then do the cheese. No. If you have to do a roux, then you're not using enough cheese. I don't ever do that.
well, I'm glad you like it, Melissa. I'm going to try it later on.
He thinks so. He can't wait for me to have a little bowl of it for himself. But what we'll do is we'll touch base in just a little bit when the cheese is a little more melted. And I'll show you putting this together. And I'll show you about putting the meatballs together as well.
Now the meatball sauce again, so if anybody asks.
It is grape jelly. I do whatever is really on sale. I usually do my own canned and make my homemade. And then I put some pub style mustard in it, some Dijon mustard, and some regular French's yellow mustard in it. And then just taste it to see if it's what you like. I think the pub style gives it a little more tang to it. So you can also put, which I've put in the past as well, is I put horseradish mustard in it, which makes it really good as well.
Now she got some good sized meatballs. Oh, Sharon said she loves it. Good. She got some good sized meatballs at the store last night to put into this, and
that's good.
One of the things I'd like to do every once in a while is actually do cooking segments on my Facebook page for people to see how it's cooked and stuff like that. If that's something you guys would like to see, please let me know, because she loves to cook. She absolutely loves to cook, and like with everything else she does, she makes everything from scratch. And if she doesn't know it, she goes to her Betty Crocker cookbook.
Well, that's just for suggestions. Usually, if I use a recipe out of there, I doctor it to whatever I feel like doing. My husband thinks I'm famous for making something out of nothing for dinner. As you can see, it's starting to melt, but there is some chunks in there. And yes, it's mostly cheese, and that's what you want to have a hearty mac and cheese. I don't want to have all that filled with the flour and butter. So yeah, it's getting pretty melty now. So we should probably have it done in probably about 5 or 10 minutes. And then I'll show you what I do to get it prepared to go into a pan for baking.
Now with the mac and cheese that she does it for tomorrow, she's got to take it tonight instead of just baking it. She's taking it to a place tomorrow. So we're going to put it right in the fridge after it's done, after it cools off a little bit, and then we're going to put it in the fridge and get it ready for the transport for tomorrow. And
make sure that they're all coated.
Okay, these are her sweet and sour meatballs, guys. She's using all the sauce to coat these meatballs. Now, what brand of meatballs are you using in this, honey? Usually I know you make your own, but...
I actually just bought Market Basket brand. They're a little bit smaller just because there's going to be so many people. Otherwise, I'd probably have gotten the bigger ones. But it's really whatever your preference is. You can use chicken meatballs. These are just regular meatballs. You use whatever you'd like. And obviously, do homemade. With me working, I don't have time. And we have to be up pretty early tomorrow to be there. So now, I'm actually going to do the mac and cheese. Hopefully this bowl is big enough. I think I might scoop it to begin with since there's so much. I have a scoop. Alright, so let's bring this over here. Look at all that goodness.
Look at that, guys. It's all cheese. All cheese.
So I'll end up mixing it in to find out if I'm going to use all of it. If not, then I will probably freeze this sauce for something else.
This is about 10 to 11 different cheeses in here, guys.
I know that's not enough yet, so... Alright, I'm going to start mixing a little bit in. Now remember, this is the macaroni that's actually coated in sour cream first. Obviously, I'm making fat-free, right? This is why we don't have this very often, because it is very high calorie and very filling.
Who really cares about calories? Come on, when you need comfort food, you need comfort food.
And obviously, I don't skimp on the cheese. I want it saturated in here. Now, for the topping...
Hope you're liking this, Cindy.
For mac and cheese, it's really your preference. I sometimes put just extra cheese to get brown on the top. Sometimes I do breadcrumbs. Some people have done buttered Ritz crackers. So it's really whatever you'd like to do. I lots of times just put extra cheese just because it's good. We're getting there. So this is a double batch for those of you who didn't know. And it's okay, I have a few little chunks in here of cheese that's not melted. It's okay, because once it goes in the oven, it's going to melt. And I certainly don't mind having a pocket of cheese. And hopefully, once I get this done, it's going to fit in our pan.
What do you guys think? Let us know. Because we'll be doing other cooking segments here and there to show what my wife can cook.
One thing I think I'm going to show you all is that I do sweet biscuits, which it's a cross between a biscuit and a scone. It's simple to make. I use it for my strawberry shortcake, and I also use it for just like a tea biscuit in the morning for breakfast. They're really simple to make. It's like 15 minutes to make in total and cooking time. So about 5 minutes to prep, and then about 12 minutes or so to cook. Now you're probably saying, that's enough cheese, it's all coated. No, that's not. I'm probably going to end up using this whole pot.
As you can see, guys, look at that. Look at the cheese.
This would be, I guess you call it Southern style cooking.
Hey, Jeff and Monica, if you're watching this, you got to see this.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is pretty well mixed up, but I still have cheese in the pot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in my baking pan. Hopefully I can do this all by myself because this is huge. She might take some scoops out. So it might be a little too big for me to do by myself.
That's my bowl for the night, guys.
He thinks he's going to get some. We'll see.
That's my whole bowl right there. Right there that she's scooping out.
I'm sure this is his spoon that he's going to use too.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm hoping all this will fit in.
So this is, she's just done her sweet and sour meatballs. Now she is doing her mac and cheese.
Now if you're wondering what I do for cooking wise, I actually put it in about 350. And for this size, I would do 45 minutes to an hour, just check on it to see if it's getting brown. Just because it's so thick, you might have to do an hour. And it always depends on your oven as well.
Who wants to try some of this?
I'm not sure that we're going to be able to fit all this in the pan. But we are going to try.
I don't think the double batch is going to fit. That's my bowl for the night. That's my snack.
We are going to put in as much as we possibly can. Because we have a lot of people to feed tomorrow. Now, mind you, when I just do it for company when we're just having 1 or 2 people, I do a whole batch, and it's usually a pretty good sized pan. Okay, so we cannot fit all of it in there. There's no way it's going in there.
She's actually done this for people that have come over, and she's also done it for a paranormal team that came over to investigate my house. They actually got mac and cheese.
And meatballs that night.
And meatballs that night. So they got to try both of them.
So what I'm doing, I'm just taking a little extra cheese. I'm just going to pour it on top since I don't have any shredded cheese left to kind of put on the topping. So once I bake this should brown up a little bit.
Who wants some?
So that
Come on, don't be shy.
I have some leftover cheese sauce that we're going to save, and I'll freeze it for another day. Maybe put it on potatoes or broccoli for broccoli and cheese. But this is our pan that hopefully will not bubble over in the oven. But this is what we're going to have for tomorrow. And this sweet and sour meatballs. And then my husband apparently is going to warm up some of this because it's not real hot right now. Some of this leftover in the bowl, and that's going to be his snack for tonight.
There's my snack. There's my snack. Right there's my snack, people. Right there. That whole pan. It isn't going anywhere.
And you should see when I do lasagna, I do not like a pan like this. I do a much thicker pan. So there's many, many layers of lasagna. So yes, I love to cook, and I guess it just comes from my roots from growing up on a farm.
All right, guys. Again, this is her sweet and sour meatballs. Okay, Sharon. Yeah, we'll see what we can do for you. And yes, Melissa, the cheese sauce looks fantastic.